Hi, Arun. Thank you for your essays. I'm sorry that you had to wait so long, but we do have a certain order of things in the online course. But nevertheless, let's get down to these answers that you sent us, and I'm sure that you will send us the other ones. Okay, so the first one is task one, answer to the shoe sales bar chart. Okay. So the bar graph, the bar chart illustrates the revenue generated from the sales of two different types of shoes, namely brown and black leather. Okay, let me do this. Track changes. The bar chart. Okay, from the sales, two different types of shoes, namely brown and black leather in non-European countries in the year 2018. The y-axis represents numbers in thousands. I think this is too much detail. You could simply add a comma after the year and say measured in thousands. Just that. I mean, it's really great that you know that this is the y-axis, but still. Overall, 5 out of 9 countries sold brown leather shoes more than black leather shoes. Okay, this is a very important piece of information and a very important highlight. But the structure, they sold more than these shoes. It's okay, but you could try and express this in a more complex vocabulary. For example, in 5 out of the 9 countries, the sales of brown leather shoes were significantly higher than for the other color of footwear, something like this. The sales for brown and black leather shoes were the highest in Germany, Poland, and Hungary, and the highest, let's not forget important grammar, in France, respectively. Okay, and the sales here, the sales, and not capitalized. Okay, so while this is correct, again, try to use slightly more advanced vocabulary here. In terms of revenue from brown leather shoes, comma, Germany, Poland, and Hungary generated more than 125,000 what? Because this is not about money. This is about the number of pairs sold. So while generated is a great word, but you can say generated more income by selling 125,000 pairs of footwear. Ireland and Italy were almost at par with 100,000, with the latter being slightly above the former. Okay. France, UK, and Holland statistics were almost above 75,000 for the mentioned period. Belgium was the least of all the countries at just above 1,000. Okay. With respect to the sales of black leather shoes, comma, Belgium, Hungary, and Italy made more than 100,000. No, they didn't make more. They sold more than 100,000 pairs or items, pairs. Whereas Germany, Ireland, Holland, and Poland were below 100,000. Sales, again, sales in UK, you cannot say country, no, were the sales at 100,000, and the lowest were in France at about, okay, try to vary your vocabulary and don't just say that the sales were lowest, highest, because this will reduce your mark for vocabulary range. So yes, you have very nice highlights. I would add another final sentence to concluding sentence, maybe, perhaps. Other than that, I would urge you to work on the range of your vocabulary and learn more important expressions for saying the same thing in terms of selling items and so on. As for the word shoes and brown leather shoes, try to find ways to say the same. For example, you can say they sold this item or this type of footwear and so on, because you cannot really keep um, using the same expression. Anyway, you have chosen to highlight the correct information, and this is very important as well, especially in task completion. Now let's have a look at your essay about the Olympics. Experts throughout both the developing and the developed world have debated the pros and cons of Olympics in the 21st century. Some people believe that Olympics have lost their relevance in today's world, to which I strongly disagree. Okay. Um, with. We disagree with something. This essay will discuss the significance of the Olympics, using examples from the UK and Greece, demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, which are your main arguments? Why do you mainly disagree? It is good that you have your position stated, but it would be great if you could present right away your two main arguments or your main argument, with which I strongly disagree because blah blah blah. This essay will discuss the significance of the Olympics using and so on. There is ample evidence to prove that Olympics have played a significant role in why present perfect? Why? I'm not sure which tense you want to use here. Do you mean for which period of time do you mean? And again, you really have to say the host country. Host, beg your pardon. Okay. So you could say that Olympics do play a significant role in the economic development. Please make sure that you work on your articles. I think you need to practice using them appropriately a bit. The central reason behind this is twofold: punctuation, capitalization. Firstly, the game has led the games, and hence we're going to say have led to the development and expansion of new existing infrastructure, consequently leaving behind vital assets for the country. Leaving behind is a very confusing expression because it may also mean something negative, and that's the first thing that springs to my mind. You can say contributing to bringing vital assets for the country, like what? Such as, how about an example? Because I'm not sure which vital assets you mean. I have many things in my mind when I read vital assets for the country, but I'm not sure what exactly you mean. So supporting with an appropriate example here would be great. Secondly, it provides a platform for creating new job opportunities as the country starts preparation 4 years ahead of the games, or with regards to infrastructure, transport, and hotels. For example, in the UK in 1967, eastern suburbs witnessed the improvement in infrastructure due to the construction articles of new roads and various new job opportunities to the local. Witnessed the improvement. This part doesn't connect grammatically. Perhaps you should say the eastern suburbs witnessed the improvement in infrastructure due to the construction of new roads and let's say benefited from various new job opportunities open to the locals, or which open to the locals. It must not be forgotten that although the development of an economy due to the games was not envisioned to the games, again, I'm not going to correct this, but I'm sure that you will remember, they leave behind a legacy to the country and local public. I am not completely sure what you mean by this sentence. Not completely. If you could be more specific, because this is very confusing. What do you mean by this legacy? And what do you mean that although the development of the economy was not envisioned Do you, I'm not. I can intuitively deduce, but I'm not 100% sure. I think you need to rephrase this. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that the Olympics has a long-term and profound impact on the country's economy. Okay, good, that's clear. But this sentence contradicts or confuses the reader in this good paragraph. Well, apart from this part, which requires an example, a clear example. Although there is a case for economic development due to Olympics, the negative impact of high tax burden on unrecovered costs cannot be understated as well. Okay, so this is going to be a negative paragraph. This is largely because in development of infrastructure, huge costs is involved in its construction, and if not recovered from sale of tickets, it will be routed to local public in the form of high tax. Okay, let's do it like this. This sentence is good. This sentence is good. Okay, but the word order is awkward, and perhaps you could rephrase it, for example, like this. This is largely because the development of infrastructure involves huge costs in the process of its construction, and, comma, if not recovered from ticket sale, comma, it will be routed to local public in the form of high taxes. Okay. You have great ideas here, great expressions, but you should make sure that your sentence structure is on the level. For instance, a country like Greece was not able to recover the costs of 2000 Olympics until more formal 2015, and taxpayers had to bear the extra burden due to the okay, you keep saying high, 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 and high due to the taxes, or due to the insurmountable, which means very difficult to carry by the government. Thus, sometimes if execution is not properly carried out, it could be detrimental for an economy's growth. This sentence is interesting, but it needs fixing. Thus, you don't need the sometimes. If the execution of preparation works and tax collection is not properly execution of the preparation works, or execution of, again, you see, you don't have the details, so I have to guess it for you. If the execution of what is not properly carried out, it could be detrimental for national economy's growth or even survival. From all the examples and arguments, I firmly agree. I wouldn't say from, I would say based on the examples and the arguments mentioned. I firmly agree that the Olympics plays an important role for a country in terms of economic development in the long run. Articles again. It is predicted. It could be predicted. Let's try to be softer and more hedging in our statements. That the game will be of no. That the games will acquire more and more importance in the future. You cannot do it like the way you did it, and abundance is a noun. Even if you use abundant as an adjective, it won't really work. So, Arun, you have really great ideas. I really like the way you explain your arguments, the way you develop them, but you really have to work on making sure that your language doesn't get in the way of clear formulation, and You have to make sure that your ideas are always very clear, and you add all the necessary words and all the necessary details to make sure that your text is both grammatically correct and lexically correct as well. So that you use appropriate vocabulary. Other than that, make sure that you pay attention to the remarks that I have made, and I'm sure that your next essays will be much, much better.